Hey, hi there.
Is
Hi
that any
there,
better?
ladies. Yes,
Hey.
hello, ladies. We are live. We are live tonight to talk about motherhood, pregnancy, and plants. I'm Laura Seepko, and we have Melina DuPont, and we have Dr. Daniel Plummer. And I'm going to hand it over to you, Dr. Plummer, to get us started.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me on. Of course, I always start anything I say or do while I am speaking is truly just beyond, just not beyond behalf of myself, my experiences, my education, and not affiliated with any companies for which I work or associations for which I volunteer. So now that that's out there, I always do my best when I work with women who have some type of nausea during pregnancy to avoid trigger warnings. But today's about plants, and I am so excited about this because there's really nothing good out there for nausea during pregnancy until now, that it actually for thousands of years, but when we get the right education out there until now, because the education part is really missing, along with really solid clinical studies to provide that evidence-based education. So while we're here, I'll introduce myself. I'm a pharmacist and a certified doula specializing in antepartum care. My passion is that first half of pregnancy, because when we can get the mom healthy, feeling well early, the odds of developing complications later on are going to be minimized with, oh my gosh, the outcomes are amazing. And to have a pregnant woman on with me is like a dream come true, because I work with the worst of the worst who can't get out of bed even to get to the bathroom. Their activities of daily living are shot. So let's reach you early prior to getting to that extreme. And like I said, as a pharmacist, I specialize in medication management, personalized medicine, work with women around the world. There's always so many questions: what's safe, what's not safe in pregnancy, and there are no clear answer. Everything we ingest, whether it's a medication, a supplement, a food, a plant of any kind, is all risk versus benefit. And I see all the time where the benefits outweigh the risks. So I'm going to turn it over to you two, because you have some solutions for us.
Well, I'm Laura Seepko, and I had just the pleasure to meet Dr. Plummer on LinkedIn, believe it or not. And we just really both have common interests in helping women feel good. And I come from the pharmaceutical industry and the background of almost 2 decades in that industry. And I kind of jumped over to the plant wellness industry a few years ago. And what's been really remarkable is the power of a plant and how it can really help us. And what's been interesting throughout this journey is the many of the women that I encounter and how this plant has really helped them in all facets of their life. And I wanted to kind of turn it over to a friend and actually a colleague of mine, Melina DuPont, because she has found how plants have helped her during her pregnancy, after her pregnancy, and with her family. And so I thought it would be a wonderful thing to get started to have Melina just to share a little bit about your journey and wellness and how plants have helped you.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. I am very excited to be here with you ladies and share this to hopefully help someone out there, because pregnancy is hard enough. And so when we can find some relief, what a blessing that is. I am a homeschool mama. I have 3 little boys, and I am currently pregnant, 18 weeks along with our little girl. Everyone's so excited about we're getting it. And so I first learned about Green Compass and CBD, just hemp wellness, a couple years ago. My husband's been a believer for like 6+ years ago, and I just had no interest. But a couple years ago, it just really blessed me postpartum. After my 3rd son, I just was like, what's wrong with me? Do I have cancer? And starting to take like our jellies and oil, it just changed me. Like, I have the list here. I have better sleep, better energy, focus, less brain fog, softer skin, just less pain wherever I had pain, better PMS symptoms, like those just went away. So anyway, and then so the last 2 years I've been blessed in that regard. And then now that I'm pregnant, this is my first time to ever experience like CBDA with pregnancy, and what a gift it has been. With my first 3 boys, what I did is I ate Ritz. I just always had a roll of Ritz crackers around, And that helped me not to throw up. And I was also prescribed nausea medication, but those, I don't think they did anything. Anyway, so now where I'm at in my health journey, I really value a clean, organic lifestyle. And so Ritz are not what I would prefer now. And so I'm so thankful. And this is actually the healthiest pregnancy I've ever had. Like, yeah, I'm just very thankful. So I just take like a quarter of an ml of a dropper of this whenever I have symptoms. And like literally in a couple minutes, a minute or two, my nausea is gone.
Okay.
Completely.
That sounds like a miracle to me. Laura, and I think you're about to say that, but I just wanted to add, women with extreme nausea and vomiting, don't mention the word cracker. Trust me, they've tried it. It didn't work. And it's just a nightmare. The dry, the brat diet, right? That's not going to give anybody nutrients, even if it does stay down. So here, what you're saying is just amazing. And I just want to put out, like, I'm not affiliated with your company. I just love what I'm seeing. So I'm happy to share this and just dig a little into the science. So Laura, I know you want to say something, and then I have some questions.
Oh, no, it's, it's really interesting because CBDA is one of it's an old, obviously something old because it comes from a plant, but it's really one of the newer discoveries. And there's just new research happening around CBDA. A lot of people have heard of CBD, right? So you hear CBD everywhere, right? And what's really interesting, first of all, is, there's different types of CBD. You have full spectrum CBD, which has the trace amount of THC, legal levels of THC that won't get you high, psychoactive effects. Now, but that trace could show up in a blood test, right? So you do have that. Then there's broad spectrum CBD that actually, it has everything from the hemp plant. So you benefit from all of the beautiful cannabinoids from the hemp plant, with the exception of THC. So we made that for people that might be concerned with drug tests. Then you have isolate CBD, which is CBD just alone, that's it. Nothing else from the hemp plant except for CBD. And then we recently, our company came out, about a year ago now. It's been a little bit over a year. We came out with CBDA, which it's interesting because it's the acidic form of CBD before it's heated. So it has more of a planty taste, if you will, because it's not heated. And then once it's heated, then it's created and it's made into CBD. And the other thing that's really interesting about CBDA is that these cannabinoids, they work on different receptors in your body as well. And so it works on the 5-HTP receptor, which can also be associated, as we understand it, with nausea. And so that's why we're seeing people have so much success with nausea, and why Melina actually has had so much success with nausea as well. So it's interesting. So you have CBD, it works primarily on the CBD1 and CBD2 receptors in their body, and those span across your 11 major organ systems. So that's why people have, Melina shared all the different things that it helped her with, right? And then you have CBDA that works on different receptors. So it's really, really fascinating what we're seeing that's coming out of the power of this one plant, the hemp plant.
It's amazing. Yeah. We have this cannabinoid system through our body, receptors all over. And Laura, you mentioned the HT3. That's the chemical acronym abbreviation for serotonin. So you hear serotonin so much. There's many different subtypes, which you mentioned. And the ones that work with nausea are actually in the GI tract, and then send those signals up towards our brain to say, hey, we're not supposed to be nauseous right now. It's a protective mechanism that isn't functioning properly, and this cannabinoid system now is reaching those targets. So Melina, like, amazing that you had this response that quickly. So tell me, at what point, I just like to dig deep in pregnancies. The women I work with, it starts right away from the moment they know they're pregnant. When did it start with you that you felt like, oh my gosh, I'm going to need help beyond crackers?
That's a great question. I feel like around week 5 or 6 with all of my pregnancies, I started to feel.
It's early, right?
Yeah, it's pretty early. So I've been fortunate to where I've only thrown up once. And so I've been able, like, many times I've almost thrown up, but I was able to, like, put in the Ritz cracker, but this is what I've been doing and I don't. And, like, it goes away. it also helps me with sleep and all the other things. And so, yeah, it was early, and I feel very fortunate. And I hate that women are having to like go to the hospital because they're throwing up all the time.
Go to the hospital and not always get the care that they should. Just earlier today, I was talking to a woman, listening to her story, and it's just terrifying that, to the fact she actually just left against medical advice, what we call AMA, because she wasn't getting the support, the care she needed that we have with other disease states of malnutrition. So when you have this extreme nausea, and I have a lot of women ask me, hey, I'm not throwing up, I'm not vomiting, but I'm nauseous so much that I can't eat. What do I do? Is that hyperemesis? Well, by the true definition of the word, it's not. But if you're not getting, it doesn't matter what we call it, right? If you're not getting nutrients early in your pregnancy, what is going to happen later? What are your odds of having a healthy mom and a healthy baby throughout the pregnancy and then postpartum? So here's something that's not going to trigger a drug warning, right? It's as far as safety in pregnancy, I know we have case studies. I don't know beyond that. Laura, you and I have discussed before, how do you know when something's clean, or does it have other maybe chemicals or additives that you don't want to have during your pregnancy?
Yeah, and that's a really great point, because first of all, like you said, there isn't a lot of literature here, because they're not gonna really do studies in pregnant women, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But we had talked about this before. A lot of women are seeking something else.
Yeah.
And so they're looking to this. And so if you're going to seek out using a CBD hemp product, it's really critical that you know what's in it, because buyer beware, 60% of what you're going to find out there, and this is researched, is mislabeled. And so it's really important, because it's an unregulated market, right? So it's really important that you understand what's in the bottle. And I would say, if you want to break it down to really two things you really need to know is, number one, it's critical that it's USDA organically certified. And the reason why that is because it all starts in the soil. Mm-hmm. So the hemp is a scavenger plant, and it will suck up, for lack of a better word, all the pesticides, herbicides, all the contaminants from the soil. And so if that soil and the hemp is not USDA organically certified, it's going to be in that CBD. Those pesticides are very likely to be in the CBD that's made from that hemp. So that's a key, is the USDA organically certified soil and hemp. And then obviously, for ourselves and for our babies, we don't want to settle for less. So everything in the bottle should be USDA organically certified. So that's the big number one. And then the second thing would be is that there should be a certificate of analysis. And what that is, Melina has that there. That's a QR code on the bottle of ours. All of our products have a QR code, and that shows the COA, they call it, certificate of analysis. That is basically saying, here's everything in the bottle. It's a third party entity validating what you say is in the bottle. And you can see, here's what's in the bottle. Here are the traces of all the cannabinoids. And then it confirms that there's no pollutants in what you have. So those, if you could look at two things, those would be the two things that are a must.
Amazing.
Yeah. If that helps. Does that help?
It helps me. So when women reach out to me and say, hey, I really want to try CBD, I actually have a lot of friends, a lot of pharmacists in this space. If they want to try your products, I guess I have a lot of questions about this then. You mentioned drops, right? 1 ml. Do they come in different flavors? Is it just the one kind? How does that work?
Melina, I'll let you take that.
Well, if we're talking specifically CBDA, we have two options. We have our natural flavor, and then our newest flavor is the cinnamon. So this is a more like raw hempy taste, if you prefer that earthy flavor. And then this is my favorite, is the cinnamon. And I keep these in the fridge, and they'll last a long time. So yeah, the dropper, you can take up to however much you need. It's just a very powerful compound, and so you don't need much. And then, should I mention the CBD? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, how about the gummies? That would be a good one.
Yes, so we have a couple different options for our jellies. We have our brand new ones that are amazing that have CBD and THC nano-sized. And then, so that's our full spectrum. And this is our broad spectrum that's just CBD if you feel more comfortable with that. They're both really great, clean products, and they work within like 15, 20 minutes because they're nano-sized and there's a higher bioavailability.
Availability. I gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know why that's important is because it needs to cross that blood-brain barrier. It needs to get to that site of action. A lot of products, not necessarily CBD, but so many products sold at your corner drugstore might say we have this much of this ingredient in our product, but how much of that actually gets through the body? I see iron products. They're just useless. When women will get retested and look at their iron and it doesn't increase, but they're taking all these pills. And so, you know, that bioavailability is just so important. So very cool. Exciting.
And I just want to add one product too, because, you know, in pregnancy, we can get aches and pains. And so this is a really great pain cream that has CBD in it that works immediately. Like if you wake up and your neck's hurting or your back's hurting or your hip's hurting. So.
And that's amazing because when you're pregnant and you're in pain of any kind, you can't take any what we call NSAIDs, right? No ibuprofen or naproxen, any Aleve, any Motrin, any of the brand names, because of potential teratogenic effects, right? You don't want to take any opioids unless you absolutely have to. Like that would be a last resort, right? And then Tylenol was always the go-to, and there's some mixed evidence with that now. So to have a product that, firstly, you don't have to ingest, it's topical to help with aches and pains. A lot of pregnant women have like less restless leg syndrome, maybe from low magnesium if they're not able to keep their electrolytes replenished. Other aches and pains from your hips, your back, right? Like you mentioned, your neck, you're sleeping funny, and so to have a topical cream, that's an amazing option that has CBD to help with that. So have you tried that one yourself? Have you needed it?
Oh, yes. I've been using all these for a couple of years. So, I mean, the CBDA is the newest one. I forget when we launched that product. But, yeah, I love all these. We never run out. My children use these. My husband use these. Yeah.
Like so my children use them. Yeah. That's amazing.
This has been awesome for growing pains. My mom told me she used to have to like be up all night with my sister and do popsicles in the bath. And like with my son, I put this on his legs and within 5 minutes, he's done weeping and he's asleep.
That's amazing. When my children are older now, when they were little, my first one grew really tall, really fast. She was in that like 90%. She ended up leveling off. She's in the middle of the road now with height, but that night, and those growing pains are real. I used to think it was like the TV show from the 80s or right? No, growing pains are real. And it's so sad as a mom. You're like, I want my child to feel well, but they're hurting. Who knew? Now we have something amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I have to say that, you know, just sitting here as we're just chatting a little bit and we're talking about motherhood, I think that's one of the reasons why, honestly, I'm just so proud to be part of this movement in plant wellness and proud of kind of what we're doing to deliver such clean products. And our company was founded by a mom, and she was experiencing, it all started because she was experiencing feelings of sadness, and it worked for her. And then when her children got older and she thought, hey, this might help them with focus, she wanted a clean product for them. And that's just kind of how we started. So as we kind of talk about women and helping women, you know, that's one reason why Melina and I are just really proud to be part of this, because it's truly special to be able to have a leader that's a mom and a woman that deeply cares about how other women feel. So.
And does it help with focus?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Right? Oh my gosh. So
Absolutely.
When we talk about that cannabinoid system, like you said, it's a whole body system. It's working through multiple platforms in the body. And so you have sleep, you have pain, you have focus, you have nausea.
It's amazing. It's kind of like you have like this, if you picture like it's like a domino effect, and it comes in and it hits your personal dominoes in the order that they need it, if that makes sense, right? So I might not be sleeping well, maybe because I have anxious feelings, and so then it'll probably come in and help with my anxious feelings, and as a result of that, I might be sleeping better. So it's really a fascinating kind of industry to be in, and a really exciting time to just help people with a plant.
Yeah.
So
I love our new jellies. Like my dad, he's so funny. He's 69 and he said these work. He's like, my brain is working. Like memories just started flooding in, and so it's great.
That's amazing too, right? So if somebody wants to purchase any of your products, how do they find you?
Hey, Melina, why don't you give them your Instagram handle and you can be the main contact.
Okay, it's my name, so it's at Melina, Melina, and DuPont, DuPont, at Melina DuPont.
Perfect. So just direct message you, yes?
Yeah, you can direct message and be happy to respond. Yeah.
Really amazing. So I don't know if you want to touch on any price points or any specials or anything you have going on right now.
Well, the great thing that we do is all new clients get $10 off their first order, and 20% off their order. And we kind of have this little club when people decide to make their first order, then their next order, they get a special offer. And so we're always giving clients just special offers so they can try different products. But that's our first thing that we do. And the other great thing is that we have a great referral program. So for example, any of our customers that love our products, which many of them do, we have about the statistics say we have about a 75% retention rates because people love our products so much. So when people love our products, we give them the opportunity to, share a link with a friend, and then they get free product. They get product credits for free product as well. So we always love to just reward our customers that appreciate our products, and we appreciate them as well. So that's what we have.
Well, I'm excited. So I will share this information with anyone that reaches out to me and wants to try CBD, and hopefully can add to your testimonials.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure chatting with both of you ladies tonight. Now, we appreciate everyone who watched. So thank you so much.
Thank you both as well for everything you're doing to support women's health. Much needed, much appreciated.
Thank you, Dr. Plummer. Yeah. Have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye.